So 7 years ago, this month, I moved from Cleveland to Menlo Park, California, neighbor to Palo Alto, which is where I'm walking right now. And I'm moving at the end of this month from Menlo Park to San Carlos, 2 towns away, but worlds apart in my feeling. Moving to a place where I have a cat, a garden, a boyfriend, a lovely routine of doing very, very simple things with great joy. And it's been a while since I've actually spent time here in Palo Alto. But this time I came back and I wondered for the first time when it was that I caught the sickness, the disease of my mind that caused me to attach so much significance to everything about this place. It meant arrival and status and power and money and all of those things, and those were very important to me at that time. And yet there was this other part of me, this deeper yearning part of me that also was asking to be fulfilled, which was the expression of beauty and putting something of meaning from inside myself out into the world as my work, as my purpose, as the only work that I have to do in my life. So those 2 things were both at play inside me when I moved here. And now it's really interesting to see this whole place and to just feel it from such a different place. And to see that none of the expression, none of what comes from inside me is dependent on where I do it. But it has everything to do with my relationship to my circumstances, my surroundings, the people around me, and how my body is responding to them, and which part of myself I choose to listen to. So, you know, the real estate marquees with the $4 and $5 million homes and the recreation of the Hamptons lifestyle, and just all of these things that I used to see as sort of core to my experience, like eating artisan yogurt, which is behind me, shopping in these designer boutiques, which I just did because they were in my backyard, and wearing the clothes that they sold just meant that I had the money to do that. And none of it was coming from the depth of connection that I have now, simply because I didn't know how to connect with that part of myself. So I had to journey through that. I had to have that disease, I'll call it, because, and why do I choose to call it a disease? Well, what I've learned from Workaholics Anonymous is there is a value to naming something outside of you, that comes from a place that you can think of as outside of yourself, but I just like to think of as a mystery. We don't know where diseases come from a lot of the time, but their arrival is a signal for us to look and to surrender to the mystery. So I call that particular attachment and affliction of my mind a disease right now, so that I can surrender to the mystery and appreciate that in that recognition I can move on from it. I can choose a new way of seeing. And it's really actually a release to do this walk because I had been experiencing a tremendous amount of resistance and fear around just the physical aspect of moving, getting rid of stuff, etc. I just visited a consignment store, so I'm clear on one option, and there's just actually many options for not just getting rid of stuff, but actually getting something in return for things that I have, which feels great. It's like I could get paid to be free, which is pretty much my life MO right now. It's like anything that will lead me toward freedom, I'm doing. So this is just kind of the flavor of Palo Alto. I'm sure it's not being captured on the video, but I'm just feeling it myself as I walk through and I look at sort of the types of things that land here in downtown Palo Alto and the images that they strive to create in our minds through image, symbol, and how I used to once buy into that and think that it was actually important to who I was. So that's all.